Today's program was furnished by a grant from the Beanery Depot and Deli, featuring coffee, made-to-order subs, and snacks. The Beanery Depot and Deli in Mahoningtown. Today's program furnished by funding from Bill's Bake Shop, where smiles are everywhere. Special thanks to Butts, Flowers, Gifts, and More in downtown Newcastle for their support and funding of this program. Butts Flowers, downtown Newcastle. Programming provided through funding from Daimio and Olson Law Group, with offices in Elwood City and in Newcastle in the Washington Center. Daimio and Olson Law Group. Good morning, Newcastle. Yes. Welcome to the morning show. And, you never quite know what we're going to do. I thought it being Friday, we'd go swimming.
I love it.
And I got to tell you, what a great week we've been having. And the weather's going to be a little bit, but there'll be rain, so I figured if you're going to get wet, you're going to get wet. Oh, you got a little spot. April Fools. See?
I didn't expect it this early. This year's moving.
Yes.
Moving along swiftly, yes.
And the swimming pool.
Yes.
Is coming along.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And this isn't an April Fool's joke.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Tell us a little bit about what's happening.
Well, first of all, Angelo, I want to thank you for inviting me to be on your program this morning. I think this is a real treat for our community, just having access to TV. And I'm just really excited about the partnerships that it's going to bring about. But yes, I'm here to talk about the Cascade Park swimming pool. And as some of you may know, United Way took this on about a year and a half ago, and we've been working very feverishly with a lot of community volunteers and different agencies, and bringing together what we feel is a rock-solid plan for the Cascade Park swimming pool. So many times I've heard about the memories that people have about the pool,
right,
how they met their mates, how they enjoyed that growing up, and it was a really alternative to healthy, clean fun in our community. So that was our goal, to bring it down for a lot of reasons, not just for the health reasons, but something for our young people to do, and it brings the community together. When you talk about water, water means life. And I think once we get the pool back, that's going to be the life to our community that brings a lot of other things back to that venue.
You know what? And I think you're absolutely right, because everybody enjoys Cascade Park. You could go there, and they used to have lemon ice and pizza, yes, and just going through the park, and there'll be other things and activities to do, and you can even play bocce down there.
Yes, yes.
So it just works out to be a great thing. Now I had gotten this, and they're talking about phase 1 renovations.
Yes.
And what are those?
Well, United Way has been in partnership with the City of Newcastle for quite some time. For Day of Caring, we work with them on a lot of our projects. That starts in September, and we've worked on many projects at Cascade Pool as well as other nonprofit agencies. And what we did was we broke the project down into phases. And once again, I couldn't have done it without our volunteers. Chuck Jackson, who's the area manager for Penn Power, he serves as our project manager, as well as Randy Schilla, Wayne Alexander, Frank Tellez, Jerry Prestapine. So a lot of United Way volunteers came together to make this happen. And phase one is the bathhouse. We broke it down into two phases. The bathhouse is phase one, and the actual swimming pool is phase two. So we're beginning phase one of the project, and once again we're excited because in the letter I'd stated the people have a mind to work.
Right.
People are ready to bring our community back, and I'm proud that United Way took the leadership role in bringing the people to the table to make this happen. And once again, there's a lot of people in our community that want to see things getting better, and they're willing to help. They're ready to help.
And you know what? I believe that.
Yes.
Because the number of people that support community television here
Yes.
is tremendous. And, you know, you get a lot of naysayers and,
Oh, yes.
there are plenty of them out there. But it's just like the train just keeps going ahead.
Exactly, and we have to think about the next generation. We have to
Exactly
think about our
right.
young people. We want to keep them here in our community because, once again, I think Newcastle is one of the best kept secrets. Lawrence County.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, people come here and they can't believe we have, the people are nice.
Right.
They're friendly. They still have a spirit of community. The food is excellent here. Keeps them
You
coming
got
back.
that right.
Yes, keeps them coming back. So once again, I think we have some wonderful assets, and Cascade Park is a beautiful asset that we have in our community.
You know, and you are right, because the people at Taylor Alderdice,
Yes.
when we did the game live, commented on how great a community Newcastle is.
Yes.
And you know, that's absolutely fantastic. Now, you're going to have a meeting on Tuesday, April 5th.
Yes, that's our United Way annual dinner meeting, and that's Tuesday, April 5th at the Villa. And that's where we celebrate our volunteers and the campaign, and we'll be getting updated from Chuck Jackson on where we are with the swimming pool. We'll also have a representative from Comcast. Cheryl McCabe, the regional director, will be with us, and we partnered with them in kicking off the renovations at Cascade Swimming Pool with Comcast Cares Day. And Comcast Cares Day, that's a day when anyone can sign up to volunteer to come out and work on a community project. And we chose the bathhouse since we were getting that started and ready to go. So that's the project that they agreed to, and we're looking for 100 volunteers. So grab your students, your families, your church groups, companies, grab your group of individuals and come out and support. It starts from 8 a.m. with breakfast, sponsored by Comcast.
Breakfast in the park.
In the park. You're going to love it. So breakfast in the park with Comcast, and we'll work until noon that day. And we have some projects that we'll have ready to go as far as cleaning up the debris and getting some things in place for the larger equipment to come in to start renovations.
That is phenomenal. And as I go through this, you know, it just brings back so many memories. How far along how long do you give phase one and then go to phase two?
Well, you know what, that's interesting because in renovating the project, we're using volunteers.
Right.
Probably 70% of the work is being done by volunteers. And I'd like to talk about the partners that we have. IBEW 712, Frank Tellez, they've committed to bringing in taking care of all the electrical work for the bathhouse.
Okay.
So which drives the cost down. But once again, we are working with volunteers, so
Right.
we're working around their schedule.
Right, and I know
Yes.
how that is.
Yes.
Now, so that's going to start, and the Comcast Cares Day is
Saturday, April the 30th,
30th.
from 8 a.m. until noon.
Okay.
And we do have this information at our website, UnitedWayOfLawrenceCounty.org. You can check us out at the website, and we have forms to be filled out, so you can fill those forms out. If you have students that have to get their volunteer hours in, please let them sign up, because a lot of them have to get that done before graduation. So we can
Right.
kind of meet that deadline. The information was shared with all of our school districts, so they do have the information. So we're just encouraging you to come out to a nice, fun community event. We can get that done early in the morning, and you have the rest of your day.
That's great. Now, we're going to take a little break, And when we come back, we got a whole lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
So enjoy your coffee. And I think you spilled the spot. April Fools. This program furnished by a grant from Ferrone Brothers. 2 locations, Newcastle on Mill Street and Wilmington Road in Newcastle. This program furnished by a grant from Keystone Specialty, Newcastle's party store on Mill Street in Newcastle. A special thanks to Paul D. Weller Hardware in Mahoningtown for providing funding for this program. Today's programming furnished by a grant from Chalala and Carney Florist on Mill Street in Newcastle. Today's programming was provided through funding from DiCaprio Cleaners. DiCaprio Cleaners in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Today's programming was provided from funding
For all the neighbors in life, talk to State Farm agent Michael Joseph in Newcastle. State
Guess
Farm
what?
is there.
We're back.
All right.
You know, I got to tell you, this weekend is Empty Bowls.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And
And do you know what Empty Bowls is?
yes, we United Way worked with the Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank in coordinating this program along with the Hoyt Center for the Arts. So we worked with them and put together the Empty Bowls a few years ago, and it's grown to be almost one of the premier events for the season, and that helps the summer food program. As you know, when school is out, a lot of our young people aren't getting their lunches that they normally would
Right.
get from the school district. And so Empty Bowls provides funding for the different sites that provide activities for the kids. The food is subsidized by the federal government, and there's no paperwork to be filled out by the children, so they just have to show up, 18 and under, at the various sites. So we try to provide a safe haven for the kids in the summer, so they can come and they have activities, and the fundraising helps with the activities, whether it's jump rope, basketball, coloring book, crayons, whatever activities are needed for that site. So once again, this community is amazing, the way they come together and support charities.
See? And you know what? See, you thought I was kidding and I was going to stump her. Ha!
It's the
April
truth.
Fools. Now, you got to get, and here's where you got to go. You got to go to the First Baptist Church up there on Maitland Lane.
Yes. Mhm.
From 4 to 6.
Yes.
And you can get a T-shirt. You can get a commemorative bowl.
Yes, the bowls are beautiful. I have a collection of bowls.
There you go.
A lot of them are made by local artists. There's some auction items there. And once again, everything that we're doing is to support local charities. So many times we do support charities out, and the money leaves and goes outside of our area. But I do encourage you, remember our community. Remember our neighborhoods, our charities. When you support our local charities, the funding stays here for our family and friends.
You know what? And no better words were ever spoken, because that's what we try and talk about here at NCTV45. Community. And you know, I have to tell you a funny story because it's April Fool's Day.
That's right.
You know, I mean, we have several people watch us,
Yes.
and they're from all over. And we were just, before we sat down here, we were talking about how small Studio One is. They thought we had this great big place. Look out. You know,
But you're doing great things.
Thank you.
You're doing great things.
thank you. This is, now here's another. This is a trick question.
Okay.
The Good Friday Prayer Breakfast.
Yes.
When is it?
That's been moved to May 1st for the
May
National Day
5th.
May 5th, National Day of Prayer.
There you go.
Yes, yes.
See,
So,
I told my son, I says, geez, you know, I felt like something was missing on Good Friday. And then Beth sent me this, that it was moved. And it made it like so much easier.
that's right. I think a lot more people will be able to attend that venue. And I know I spoke at that venue several years ago, and I was just amazed at the number of people that come out and support, and they were interested in praying for their community.
Right.
There's a lot of people that are interested in that, and that's what we need. We need your support. We need your prayers. That's what's going to turn this community around when we get on one accord.
That's it.
That's it.
And don't worry what church you go to.
That's right.
You know what? We've done a beautiful thing here. And I don't want it to be just like, but Lonnie Waters,
Yes.
Reverend David Young, the guy from St. Vitus, Lou Bosco,
Okay.
okay, they all come up, Ed Frisbee, and we now are working on a rotation for Thought for the Day. And it doesn't have to be like Elmo TV, all Angelo all the time. It's a beautiful thing, and you can participate in all these community activities.
Yes.
Find friends that maybe you haven't seen for a while.
That's right.
And
right.
and then all those memories will come flooding back to you. Now see what's great here? And I know she's getting scared because she thought I just had one paper. Oh, I could talk forever. You know
what I like about this is it's connecting people again. So many of us, when you bring people together, you realize that we all share the common ideas. We all want better communities. We all want
Right.
things better for the next generation. So we all want the same thing. We just have to come together and make it happen.
And there are so many tremendous people
Yes.
that are around here. Now, for me, I am so happy that I'm able to stay young because
Yes.
I was at the Primary Health Network's Coffee Connections.
Yes.
And one of these guys came up and said, "Angelo Perrotta, how are you?" And I said, "Wow." I says, "I'm doing okay." He said, "Yep." He said, "You were my basketball coach when CYO was around." And I went,
Nice.
"Oh, man, you got old. I'm still teaching school." Now, here's another thing that's coming up. It's the Union Boosters Golf Outing.
Okay.
And you know what? Rolling Hills. Now, let me tell you what the strategy is. You go to Rolling Hills with John Bertolino, and it'll look like you're really a bad golfer. Then, after you do that for a while, then you go to any place else and you'll be a really good golfer because you're going to be walking up and down a lot of hills. And this is May 28th at 8 a.m. That's a Saturday. And we tell you early enough so you can mark your calendar. Okay? And with us being available anytime on your time, that makes it real convenient. Now, I still have a stack of papers, but there's these sponsors that want to talk to you about great goods and services right in your home community. And we're going to be right back. We still got some. April Fools, I got her twice. We'll be right back. Today's programming provided by Geno's Grocery, Deli, Lottery. Convenient and on your way. Geno's in Mahoningtown. This program made possible by a grant from Melva's Deja Vu, where everything old is new again. Funding for this program provided by Washington Center Physical Therapy, Norm A. Gabriel, MSPT, ATC owner. Funding for this program provided by the Commonwealth. Today's programming is brought to you by NCTV45 and NC Radio 450, Newcastle's community television station. And just like that, we're back. Presto change-up. Now, I want to get a couple more things while I'm sitting here. I like the name of this. Get Up and Dance, because it reminds me of the song.
Yeah.
They've been doing this since Thursday, the 31st, and it's going till Saturday at 2 p.m. And it's out at Westminster College or Auditorium. But see, this is a typical thing. Yeah. They send me this, and they say, join us for a dance theater production of Get Up and Dance. But they don't tell me what it is. Now, somebody else, they send me War and Peace. It's a novel this thick,
Yes.
and I have to read it. So if you feel like getting up and dancing, go boogie your socks off. And this is really interesting. The Hoffman letters at the Newcastle Historical Society. And why that's really interesting is the boy was only 16 years old, and he lived in Darlington. Now, people don't understand about Darlington.
Darlington and the history, the rich
Right.
history of Darlington, yes.
And our county, that's named County Line Street up there, not because they decided, well, that's a good name, County
right.
Line. That was actually the county line.
Yes.
So when he was on the line and he joined the Roundheads, that's the infantry from Lawrence County, that was huge. And that was right at the time this county was forming. So you should probably take that in. And that's Saturday, the 9th. Yes, at, well, did she give me a time? I think she did. It says Saturday, 10 a.m. on the 9th. So don't forget, Sharon General, they're still giving you those physicals if you need them for PIA or the Ohio one or you're a student driver. And let me tell you something that I know. If you played a sport in the fall, you only have to get a little thing signed. That's what I've been told. But if you're playing a sport now, you have to get the physical, like track or baseball.
Okay.
But now, after June 1st starts a new fiscal year, so then everybody has to get a new one again. So maybe, call them to schedule an appointment, and they want you to, there's a packet. These things are really thick. 724-346-6425, and they ask that you have it all filled out so the doctor doesn't have to go through and just,
I understand.
it's pretty thick. The Hoyt had, do you know what they had?
Yes, they're having a wine festival.
Yes, they are. Yes,
That's
they
coming up
are.
on April 16th. And who says there's nothing to do in our community?
I'm telling you,
Who says that?
every day. Every day I go through this list, I'm
Yes.
like, wow.
You can
And-
be out every night if you wanted to.
right.
Yes.
And we get over 300 emails a day.
My.
Okay, so when I get up at 4:30 and I start going through emails at 5:30, look out. And that is an April Fool's. You guys keep me busy. And the birthdays, they're going to get lumped over till next week, I can tell you that. But it's my Uncle Harry's birthday, so I'll
Okay.
say happy birthday. They also have in their main gallery their 43rd annual Jewelry Dart Contest. So you can go up and look at some real great art.
It's a beautiful facility.
Yes, it is. And I love the way it looks inside.
Yes, Kim does a fantastic job arranging all the artwork, and then they feature local artists. And one thing about Newcastle, everything you want is right here.
Right.
It's right here in
Yes.
our community.
It really, really is. Now, speaking of things being right here in our community, it's time for that Crane Room 45 weather. And this, we probably could do a little less of, and it's rain. Currently 53 degrees outside and raining.
Here we go again. It's rain.
What's your Friday look like? Sunny, no, April Fool's, sorry. Showers likely.
That's a real April Fool's.
Yeah. Don't want to tell you. It's liquid sunshine, folks. 58 degrees and rainy and wet. And when they tell you 80, 90, 100% chance of rain, have the umbrella.
It's going to rain.
Yeah. Now, tonight, a low of 37. It wasn't that cold all winter, and it's going to stop raining. Why? Because it's too cold. You wouldn't go out in cold weather either. Saturday, 60% chance of rain and a high of 45. Now, the real bugger is coming, because when you get to Saturday night, I hate we didn't mention this all winter long. Mostly cloudy, breezy, and a low of 24. Who ordered February now?
In April.
Yeah, and
That's an April Fool's,
yeah,
right.
geez, oh man, I don't know about you, but that's too cold for me. And it doesn't get any better, because it's going to be 36 when you get up on Sunday and scurry off to church, and then here's another one, 31 with a 40% chance of snow showers Sunday night. Yes, it just keeps coming, folks. There's a 70% chance of precipitation on Monday, rain and snow, and a low of 31. I'm not going any further. I don't want to depress you. That's Crane Room 45 weather. Go up, get a hot sandwich. Now, you're probably asking yourself, is he going to do the sports? No, I'm going to do that a little bit later, so that you'll get the Cedar Sports Corner all by itself. So the only thing I got to say is thanks for coming.
Thank you, Angelo, for having me.
I mean, I really enjoyed this. I got somebody else up early.
I didn't. April Fool's.
You know what? I see she's catching on.
Yes.
And make sure, like I say, each and every day, you get that second cup of coffee and have a super day in what I call the greatest castle in the world, in the county of Lawrence. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you on down the road.